Nestled in the northern Chugach Range, Eklutna gains its distinct hue from the silty glacial waters that feed it, and its name from the people who found a home here. Sitting at the foot of the tallest mountains in Chugach State Park, Eklutna Lake is big enough for everyone. Car campers, backcountry bosses, kayakers, fat bikers, ATVers, hunters, photographers, cabinistas, RVers, skiers, and sightseers. Pretty big, huh? Well, you've only seen the half of it. So if it's your first time here, we have some rules. If you're on the lake, you're in a life jacket. These cold waters can be deadly if you're unprepared. Only non-motorized and electric boats are allowed. And not to call anyone out, but emphasis on boat. Glacial winds can pick up at any moment, and your inflatable pizza or french fry ain't gonna cut it. Even the 2-pack. Our concessionaire is happy to rent you a kayak and a life jacket. Just plan ahead. There's no cell service once you get into the valley. No matter where you're headed, pack out what you pack in. That goes for Rover, too. Although contained within Chugach State Park, the Eklutna Lake Valley is really a destination all its own. And with so much to do, you might want to stick around for a bit. 50 drive-in sites, 5 public-use cabins, and 3 ride-in backcountry sites are equipped with all the critical conveniences. Bears? Black, brown, we got them. Keep your campsite clean, use the bear boxes, and make noise along the trail. They're usually polite enough to avoid you. And of course, if you have bear spray, keep it handy. It's a big place, and we have a lot of distance to cover, so let's hit the trail. We're starting on the Eklutna Lakeside Trail, which, as you might guess, borders the shore of the lake and runs along the entire northern side. If you're headed someplace in Eklutna, you'll be taking the Lakeside Trail. This is a multi-use trail with motorized usage for part of the week. You can hike it, bike it, stroll it, or roll it, Sunday through Wednesday on your side-by-side or ATV. Take Rover, bring your horse. However you go, be nice and share the trail. With a wide path and not a lot of elevation changes, it's a pretty easy way to tour the landscape at your own pace. The motorized trail diverts at several points along the way to give foot and bike users some space and a better view. With changing perspectives of the lake and the surrounding mountains, the Lakeside Trail is a great gateway into the rest of Eklutna. Dotted with creeks, campsites, cabins, and trailheads, there's a lot of places you might want to go. At the western shore of the lake, the trail dips south past the airstrip and heads straight for the Miner, which splits the east and west forks of the Eklutna River. The East Fork is non-motorized only. Thankfully, we have a bit of help. This one isn't for beginners, and it's a bit of work to even get back to the trailhead. Thick brush, wayfinding, and frankly, missing trail are all part of the mix. Make the effort and you'll likely have the valley all to yourself. The trail runs along the side of East Fork Eklutna River past Tolchina Falls, and winds on for quite a few more miles before petering out. There's definitely a lot to see back here. We only made it out to the falls over a day hike. But if you wanted to explore the valley, hammocks would probably work out great if you didn't want to pitch out on the gravel bars. About half a mile past the East Fork trailhead, Canchee Campground would make a great starting point for a full day on East Fork. About 2 miles further, the Serenity Falls Hut offers 13 bunks and a view of what else? Serenity Falls. Since we're all the way out here, let's head to the end of the trail where you think I might be able to get a good view of Eklutna Glacier. Well, you're about 50 years too late. You might have heard what's going on with the glaciers, made of ice, not real big on heat. In any case, the glacier has retreated several miles up into the valley. There is a trail you can follow to where the glacier used to be. But now it's up here, and it is incredibly difficult to get close enough to view. If you really want to see the glacier, and not almost lose a drone, there's a better way. We'll get there. But first, it's a great day for a picnic. So let's check out the Twin Peaks Trail. Named Lachka by the Dena'ina, the mountain was labeled Twin Peaks by the USGS in 1960, and has nothing to do with the show. This one is more dog-friendly, but if you bring them, feet, no, chase. Like the Lakeside Trail, this one sees plenty of traffic. Well-designed switchbacks and a nice even trail bed will get you near the top of the ridge. There's a lot of elevation to cover, but if you pace yourself, this trail can be done by most folks. The trail winds up and along the bench under Pepper Peak. The first overlook, just over 1.5 miles in, takes in a high view of Eklutna and the east shore. The second overlook, just over 2.5 miles up, faces across the valley to the trail's titular Twin Peaks. All right now, calm down. 2 payoffs ain't a bad deal for less than 3 miles. But wait, there's more. It's steeper and rougher than the trail below. But get out and over this bit of tundra a little over 1/2 mile and 600 feet up, and you'll be rewarded with an overlook of both sides. If you feel like going even further, the bench trail trudges up towards the summit of Pepper Peak. When you go, top off your water before you head up. Last, but certainly not least, Bold Ridge is a little off the beaten path, but well worth the effort. Starting at mile 5 of the Lakeside Trail right after the bridge for Bold Creek, the full route to the top of the ridge covers over 4 miles and 3,600 feet of gain. You might be noticing a theme here. This one isn't for the faint of heart. This trail can get pretty brushy below the tree line, and the path isn't always exactly clear. Gaiters are a good idea if you have them, and waterproof pants are a great idea. Below the tree line, the trail bobs and weaves over switchbacks over several miles, before opening up onto the tundra high above Eklutna Lake. You'll start getting a preview of the payoff behind you, but keep going. It's worth it. The trail winds behind the ridge along tundra for about 1/2 mile, before pushing up onto Bold Ridge. Once you gain the ridge, the southern end of Eklutna Lake lies below, with views of Eklutna Glacier and the east and west forks of Eklutna River. See, I told you this was a better view. On a clear day, the ridge continues upwards towards a face-to-face with Bold Peak. But that wasn't in the cards for us. Socked in or no, if you take this trail, give yourself plenty of time to get to the ridge. Take extra snacks, water, and gear for the weather. Waiting out a bit of rain can be well worth the effort. But what goes up must come down. That's the tour, but there's plenty more where that came from. Pack out what you pack in and show us how much you love your parks by hashtagging AK State Parks when you're out there, using hashtags. I know you know how.